Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again for the very first time to the Farts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host Anjo here with part 36 of Stick Tips, the show all about controllers, adapters, gaming stuff, accessories, how we interface with video games. And yet again, on today's episode, we're talking about the Brook Wingman FGC2, aka my favorite PS5 accessory, because it allows you to use so many different controllers for PS5 games on PS5. And yeah, this is about their beta firmware version 1.1.2.3. And basically, I'll start with the issue and then recommendation and stuff like that. So if you guys were on the latest stable firmware for the Wingman FGC2, you've probably been seeing this message a lot in the past couple months, and every time you basically have to ignore it, and so notify after 24 hours, because if you tried to update, it would get to roughly 20-something% and then just fail. And it was a stable firmware, for sure. It did work, but this was still annoying. And the adapter does work with over 150 different types, or 150 different controllers. So there's no way I can test all of those. For me, I was mostly concerned with it working with my favorite controllers, the 8BitDo Pro 2 for Xbox. And there is going to be a dedicated video about these controllers and kind of like a Pro 2 deep dive in the near future, but a lot of what I'm going to be talking about here is going to be time sensitive, so I did want this to come out as soon as possible, really. And I know this is coming out in place of a Final Fantasy IX episode, so if you were looking forward to that, I'm sorry. Those should resume tomorrow in the usual time slot, which is noon Eastern every day. But yeah, I was gonna make this video a while ago, specifically about a different beta firmware, which was version 1.1.2.1. And yeah, the last stable version was 1.1.1.3. And that still is the latest stable firmware, unfortunately, because that came out in June. So it's been about 5 months since we've got a stable firmware update for the Wingman FGC2. And the reason I didn't make a video about version 1.1.2.1 is because I had issues with it. Connectivity issues, like the controllers would randomly disconnect after a little while. And that's never good. Like, you want it to have a good signal. You want it to stay connected. You know, it's a wired controller. It's not like it has a battery or has to worry about Bluetooth or pairing or anything, so connectivity is important. But that was a while ago, and now the website looks like this, which this is the download page for the Wingman series firmwares. And it even says right there 1.1.2.3 beta is the latest version, which it is the same name as the firmware on the regular FGC as well as the FGC2, although this one came out 3 months later. And I believe this came out late October, so like fairly recently. And there is no like download for beta, unfortunately. They're just recommending now that you use the web updater, which I don't like, but yeah, you click the web firmware button there and it will take you to this page. And as you can see, yeah, they've had a lot of beta firmwares come out since June. Like, a lot. But it seems like they're sticking with 1.1.2.3. So I'm assuming the stable firmware is going to be called 1.1.3.0 probably, I would imagine. But in my testing, this firmware has been very stable. I've given it about 10 hours of testing time now between the 8BitDo Pro 2 for Xbox, the original version, and the Hall Effect version. And it hasn't randomly disconnected on me once. And like, the accuracy feels good, responsiveness feels good, like everything feels correct on them, at least for these two controllers. I had a limited amount of time for the testing period, so I really just wanted to make sure controllers I already knew worked like flawlessly before. Like, even when the FGC2 first came out, which was like almost a year ago now, it worked pretty much perfectly with the Pro 2 for Xbox, because it just works natively with a lot of Xbox controllers, and these are officially licensed Xbox controllers, so shouldn't be a problem. And if you're having trouble updating, they do recommend using Chrome, which is what I used. And if you are a custom settings kind of person, you may have to enable a few options. Specifically for me, it didn't work until I enabled USB devices, HID devices, serial ports, and file editing. Like, otherwise, if those permissions are not allowed, it can't really detect things that are plugged into USB ports on your computer and modify them, basically. Like, it's updating the .dat files, essentially. I'm assuming they're still using .dat. That's what they've used forever. And for controllers that you have to manually update, that's what they still use, like the 8BitDo M30 2.4G, for example. So yeah, and after you go through this process, like, it should let you know if it updated successfully or not. And yeah, for me, it was totally fine. And again, after, I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but after you update the firmware, you may have to reapply your custom settings from Brook Converter Center, which is how you like customize how your Wingman devices actually like function. And this is still on version 1.2.1, which has been out again since like July. And from what I can tell, there's still no way to actually update the software, so if there is a new version, you might have to just re-download it and run that and delete the old version. But yeah, it should pull up your saved profiles pretty much automatically after connecting the Wingman, whichever Wingman it is for you, but for the case of this video, the FGC2. And again, it says version 1.1.2.1. That's because, yeah, these are my notes from that previous video that got scrapped because that beta firmware just did not work right for me. But it'll tell you, like, if it's on this one, it'll say the firmware that it's on. And then just sync settings to converter after you have the things toggled. This is what I usually go with. Just the dead zone thing, make sure that's set to 0. Touchpad emulation just in mode 1. It's like the easy mode, basically, where I can never remember the names of the buttons on Xbox, but I think this view and menu is like your select and start, I think. It just treats that like your touchpad button and your options button. So it's pretty much all you need. If you need left touchpad click, you just push the right analog stick to the... Wait. if you need right touchpad click, you push the right analog stick to the right and then press view. And for left touchpad stick, it's, yeah, push the right analog stick to the left and then press view. So most games nowadays don't really differentiate between them, so it should not matter. But that is the most straightforward one. Mode 2 is more for if you are playing a game that needs the full touchpad functionality. So, and they have a guide about that on the website in case you do need that, but it's, like I said, it's rarely utilized these days, so shouldn't have to worry about it for the most part. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, 1.1.2.3 is, it's been working pretty much perfectly. So if you haven't updated from 1.1.1.3, I'd say, yeah, go ahead and update. If you want to wait for the stable firmware, cool, but personally I use this thing every time I use my PS5, so I was really waiting and hoping for one of these beta firmwares to like really just work right, you know, hopefully. But yeah, a little comparison here at the end because I did want to show a few things here. And we got Cyberpunk 2077 running on the PS5 here. So let's go ahead, start it up. And actually, I mean, we don't have to get into the main thing. And I don't want spoilers for this series. I don't think we're in a spoilery place. We can go ahead and do this. Pretty sure I intentionally parked further away from anything. Yeah, I did. Okay, good. But yeah, the overall accuracy feels really, really good. This is on the 8BitDo Pro 2 for Xbox, the Hall Effect version. And yeah, inner dead zone is only set to 0.02. So like, even if I set it to 0, like a very, very, very small amount of like drift, and that's probably just because my calibration wasn't done 100% perfectly in the 8BitDo. Yeah, but that stops as soon as I set it to 0.01, which is like a stupid small amount. Like, yeah, we're getting no drift at that, which is kind of amazing. So even if you need like the most fine like level of control with like as close to 0% dead zone as possible, like yeah, that's pretty great. And like Cyberpunk is kind of good for that because it doesn't not a lot of games for PS5 actually allow you to adjust the dead zones, so that's really, really nice. It's just, yeah, it's just kind of perfect. And like, this controller's been holding up super well. It's been my main controller for almost a year now, actually. Like, and the analog sticks still just feel amazing. Which I can't say the same about my DualSense because I have two DualSenses. One of which I really put through the ringer, and the other one I've been very careful with, even the one I've been very careful with, is kind of drifty at this point. As you can see, I just like switched to my DualSense and yeah, it's kind of all over the place. It's pretty bad. Not as bad on the left analog stick. Like I can get it to like mostly stop sometimes, which is what, you know, the cursor is the left analog stick. But like the camera is the right analog stick, and I absolutely cannot get that to behave. Like it's just a drifty mess. It's pretty bad. So I think, and again, I barely use this controller. I've almost, like, I really don't even use it that much, honestly. Like, I've been very careful with it. So I think that's like the sweet spot, like 0.07, and then it mostly doesn't drift. Or, okay, it still does, but okay, and that's still drifting. I guess like 0.08, 0.09. I guess that's, yeah, so 0.09, it doesn't drift as badly. But yeah, the DualSense are just very prone to drift, and they use Alps potentiometers, and they are just not very good or reliable, and it's just such a shame that's what they cheaped out on, to be real. But that's the nice part about the Wingman, like, adapters, is you have so many options. Like, it's compatible with, like, I think 7 or 8 different controllers I have. So yeah, even if one of them has an issue, like, you can switch to a different one, you know? And I like that. But, because yeah, repairing a DualSense is very hard to do. But yeah, thankfully, the Pro 2 for Xbox, which it's switched over. It's not switching over. Not switch over if I'm in this menu, or yeah, Cyberpunk is by no means perfect. Yeah, it's not switching back for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it could just be Cyberpunk being weird as well. Like, I haven't actually had the game fully crash on me earlier today as well. But anyway, it doesn't entirely matter. And again, it's a beta firmware. Like, I'm not, in regular play, I'm not like swapping between like DualSense and the FGC2. Like, I have no reason to, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it. So highly recommend this one. Hopefully they get that stable firmware update out fairly soon. That'll, I'm pretty sure they will. It'll probably either be called 1.1.2.3 something. It'll probably be 1.1.3.0 in all honesty. But yeah, that is gonna do it for today, guys. So thank you all for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. And of course, before we get going, it's time for the outro. Special thanks, updates, all that jazz. And a very special thank you going out to the amazing people who helped make it possible, the current Farts and Crap Chat members, which at the time of recording is Novelis Draconis, Aaron Schick, and 97 Johnny Boy. Thank you all so very much for choosing to support the show a bit more directly via channel membership. It vastly helps out. Very much appreciated, and it is very much optional, so you guys are extra awesome for doing so. And if you want to be incredibly awesome like these amazing people and get in on all those membership benefits, check out that join button down below. If you know what I'm talking about, there's no join button for you. That can happen for various reasons, but there's also a link in the description. Talks about becoming a channel member. That will do the same thing, aka pull up the membership details. But yeah, long story short, membership tiers start at $3 a month. That's roughly 10 cents a day. Gets you into all the basic stuff, including getting to vote in the series get made here on the channel via the Members' Choice Polls. It's a thing we do once a month for a full week over on the membership tab, and that is how all of the series get decided. So, we will have one coming up for November 2025. It's likely going to be in the back half of the month, and it's more than likely going to be deciding a future Retro Classic series. So, not the series to follow Final Fantasy IX. That was decided a little while ago, but that series is going to be a short one. So, yeah, preemptively, we're probably going to be picking the one that comes after that. This is, however, an approximation of future announcements from the past. So, if you want all the announcements as they happen, and the bell doesn't work for you, I gotcha, the bell does not work for me. But there are 4 other ways you can do that. So we have the post tab here on the channel, the Farts and Crap Show Twitter, the Bluesky, and the Discord. I always post on all 4 whenever there's an announcement, so regardless of which one of those works for you, you can stay up to date. And links for those are down in the description, also on the channel banner. But yeah, that's going to do it for now. So thank you all once again for being here, guys. Till next time, take care, and I hope you have yourself a beautiful day.